Zara was nervous. She had arrived on Earth just hours ago as part of an intergalactic student exchange program. At first, she thought the whole idea was ridiculous. An advanced alien like her, from a civilization with nearly limitless power, here to study a primitive species. Her people, the Zalorians, were masters of technology, with AI that could think faster than any human brain, cloaking devices that made them invisible to enemies, and robotic armies that could conquer entire planets. Zara had trained in advanced combat since she was a child, learning to wield powerful energy weapons and pilot starships faster than anyone else. But Earth? Zara couldn't help but think it was a joke. She stood on the streets of a small Earth city, watching humans go about their daily lives, living in what seemed like chaos. Their technology was outdated, their cities looked clunky, and their weaponry was a joke compared to her own. She even thought the idea of being here was a waste of time. Humans? Weak, slow, and primitive, she thought. They don't stand a chance against the real powers in the galaxy. Her tour guide for the day, Liam, a human soldier, seemed just as average as the rest of them. He was friendly enough, and she had to admit, he was a bit more charming than she expected. But she knew the truth. No human could ever compare to the advanced civilizations of the universe. They were good for nothing but study, and Zara's mission here was to learn about their culture and then leave. Nothing more. However, what happened next would change everything. As Zara and Liam walked down a crowded street, laughing about the strange human customs, something unexpected happened. The sky suddenly darkened. Zara's eyes narrowed and her heart skipped a beat. Above the city, shadows stretched across the sky. Massive shapes appeared, alien warships cloaked by advanced technology. They weren't from her race, but they were from a powerful species, the Apex Dominion. They had a reputation for enslaving weaker species, and Zara knew that this wasn't some diplomatic mission. "Take cover!" Liam shouted, pulling Zara by the arm as people began to panic. Zara was frozen for a moment. She had seen this before in her training. Alien invasions were common in the galaxy. But this time it was different. This was Earth, a planet she thought was far too weak to be targeted. Then the chaos began. The alien warship suddenly uncloaked and unleashed a barrage of firepower. Explosions erupted in the air, shaking the very ground beneath them. Zara could hardly believe what she was seeing. The Apex Dominion's ships fired without warning, targeting the Earth cities with a destructive force that was almost impossible to comprehend. "Are you telling me humans are going to fight back?" Zara thought, her voice barely a whisper. Liam grabbed her hand and ran toward an underground shelter. But Zara couldn't shake off the shock of what she was witnessing. The warships were huge, their weapons capable of leveling entire cities. Yet as she watched the people around her, she noticed something unusual. Humanity wasn't panicking. They were preparing. "Impossible," Zara muttered under her breath. Quick, suspenseful scene. Zara looked around in disbelief as humans quickly moved to action. Sirens blared and soldiers rushed to strategic positions. People scrambled for cover, and military vehicles raced through the streets heading toward a massive defense facility. The city seemed to be in a state of controlled chaos. But Zara knew that the humans stood no chance. She had seen advanced civilizations crumble under similar attacks. The Earth's technology was no match for the Apex Dominion. They would fail. She was certain of it. But as she thought this, something extraordinary happened. Introduction of humanity's defenses. To Zara's shock, the Earth's defense system suddenly activated. Massive anti-aircraft cannons, which she had assumed were little more than decoration, locked onto the enemy ships and began firing. Zara's eyes widened as she saw the projectiles hit their marks, causing the alien ships to lose control of their shields. That wasn't all. A series of Earth's orbital satellites suddenly lit up in the sky, unleashing powerful laser fire that struck the alien ships directly, weakening their defenses even further. This was impossible. Zara had never seen anything like it. She had always assumed Earth was a weak, unprotected planet, but here they were, fighting back with everything they had. The warships retaliated, but now the humans were doing the impossible. They were actually holding their ground. Zara's heart began to race. Was it possible? Could humans actually have the strength to push back a force like the Apex Dominion? Emotional tension. As Zara watched, her unease grew. Liam was moving swiftly through the chaos, his focus unshaken as he gave orders to his fellow soldiers. His voice, calm and commanding, guided them as they prepared to launch an airstrike against the enemy. Zara had never seen such dedication. She could feel her thoughts swirling. This wasn't how she imagined things going. Her people, the Zalorians, would never be as brave as these humans. They would have already surrendered in the face of overwhelming force. But Liam, a simple soldier, wasn't afraid. He was leading, fighting, and sacrificing himself for his people. Zara felt a strange, unfamiliar emotion in her chest, a small, unexpected spark of respect. As the battle raged on above her, Zara stood there, watching Liam with new eyes. The fight was just beginning, and she wasn't sure who would win. But she knew one thing. Earth had just earned her full attention. As the battle intensified, Zara found herself unable to tear her eyes away from the chaotic scene unfolding before her. The Apex Dominion had launched their ground forces, massive, powerful drones and AI-controlled robots that were almost unstoppable. These were the same kind of robots that had crushed entire worlds with ease. They stormed the city, marching with precision and strength, prepared to wipe out any resistance. But then Zara saw something that made her pause in disbelief. Humans, armed with what appeared to be outdated, barely functional equipment, were fighting back. Zara had expected them to run, to hide, to crumble under the overwhelming force of the aliens. But instead, she saw something she had never anticipated: courage. Human courage versus alien technology. As the alien robots advanced, Zara watched as Liam and his squad led a desperate charge. They moved quickly, using guerrilla tactics to disable the advanced alien machines one by one. Zara could hardly believe her eyes. These humans, with no shields or advanced weapons, were disabling AI robots with sheer resourcefulness. They used the environment to their advantage, leading the robots into narrow alleys where they could be ambushed or tricked. Despite being outgunned and outmatched, the humans fought like their lives depended on it, because they did. Fast-paced action, the heart of the city had become a battlefield. Explosions echoed in every direction as humans fought with all their might. Zara watched as soldiers engaged in close quarters combat with alien drones, dodging laser blasts and exchanging blows with their bare hands. Liam led his team through an abandoned building, using every corner and doorway to outmaneuver the alien forces. The battle was fierce, the air thick with smoke and debris. Humans were everywhere, fighting, sacrificing, and never backing down. Zara's disbelief deepened with every passing minute. Humanity, a species she thought was weak, inferior, and unworthy of notice, was holding its ground against a force like nothing she had ever seen. It was like watching an underdog hero rise from nothing, defying all odds. Zara's conflicted thoughts. The more Zara watched, the more she felt a strange sensation in her chest. Doubt, confusion. For the first time, she began to question her own beliefs. She had always thought that technology was the ultimate key to power, that the species with the best technology was destined to dominate. But what she saw now was different. Humans, with their inferior technology, were fighting not just with weapons, but with something far stronger: willpower. Their courage, their adaptability, their willingness to sacrifice for one another was unlike anything she had ever seen. Zara's pride in her own advanced civilization began to falter. Maybe, just maybe, technology wasn't everything. She had always seen her people as the most advanced in the galaxy. But now, watching humans fight with such intensity and passion, she wasn't so sure anymore. The battle raged on, and Zara's mind was in turmoil. She had seen the humans' courage and their willingness to fight with everything they had. But now something was happening that would change her forever. The fight was escalating, and Zara found herself in the middle of it all. A group of alien soldiers, their eyes locked on Zara, suddenly rushed toward her, guns raised. In that moment, she realized she was in danger. Liam's sacrifice. Just as the aliens prepared to strike, Liam, who had been fighting on the front lines, saw Zara in peril. Without hesitation, he threw himself in front of her. A bullet struck him in the chest and he staggered, but he didn't fall. He gritted his teeth and pushed forward, continuing to fight, determined to keep Zara safe. His sacrifice was pure, driven by something deeper than survival. It was a desire to protect not just himself, but her, someone he had just met. Zara froze for a moment, her heart racing. She had seen many battles in her life, but never had she witnessed such selflessness. Humans weren't just fighting to survive, they were fighting for each other, even for someone they barely knew. Liam's blood stained the ground beneath him, but he never stopped moving. Emotional connection. Zara's heart ached as she watched Liam press on, despite the pain. He was just a soldier, yet he fought with the kind of bravery that no weapon or advanced technology could replicate. For the first time, Zara understood something deep within herself. She realized that there was something special about these humans, something her advanced race had never fully understood. Their bond to each other, their willingness to lay down their lives, was more powerful than anything Zara's people had ever experienced. Zara's transformation, with Liam's sacrifice fueling her determination, Zara joined the battle with a new sense of purpose. She fought alongside Liam and his team, using her superior alien abilities to disable the alien warships overhead. Her energy blasts tore through the skies, and her strength matched the alien invaders at every turn. Yet as she fought, she began to see the difference. While her technology allowed her to strike down enemies with ease, she couldn't replicate the human spirit, the determination to never give up, no matter how impossible the situation seemed. Visual detail. Zara's advanced alien technology was immense, powerful enough to destroy entire fleets. But the humans, with their basic tools and creativity, were something else. They scavenged scrap metal, improvised weapons, and used their surroundings to outsmart the enemy. In a shocking twist, the humans started turning the tide of the battle, using nothing but their wit and resilience. Zara had to admit there was something awe-inspiring about this raw human ingenuity. Zara's own pride in her advanced race began to slip further as she watched the humans' unexpected brilliance in the face of overwhelming odds. She began to understand that the true strength of humanity wasn't just in their technology, it was in their spirit. The battle had stretched on for what felt like forever. Humans, armed with nothing more than their courage and creativity, were finally getting the upper hand. Zara, who had once seen humans as weak and primitive, stood in awe as Earth's forces executed the final decisive blow. The final stand, it all came down to this moment. With the alien fleet scattered and their forces weakened, the humans launched their coordinated strike. Zara watched in awe as Earth's fighters swooped in from all directions, attacking with precision. One by one, alien ships exploded in brilliant flashes, their shields finally overwhelmed by a storm of missiles and laser fire. The Earth forces were relentless, never slowing down. Zara had to admit, this was no longer just a battle. It was a victory. Down on the ground, human soldiers like Liam were engaged in brutal hand-to-hand combat with the remaining invaders. Despite the difference in technology, humans were showing no signs of backing down. Every punch, every movement was fueled by pure willpower. With one final push, the last of the alien soldiers were defeated. Suspenseful action. As the last alien warship was blown apart in the distance, Zara stood beside Liam, watching the sky light up with victory. The flagship, the heart of the alien fleet, was obliterated in a massive explosion. For the first time, Zara saw something beyond technology and firepower. She saw a people who fought with everything they had. Humans didn't just fight for survival, they fought for each other, and they fought for something greater than themselves. Emotional resolution. Zara's heart was heavy as she looked at Liam, who was staring up at the sky with a look of fierce pride. She had never seen a species so full of spirit, so full of pride in who they were. Humanity, despite its flaws, had something her people would never understand. The power of unity, of sacrifice, of resilience in the face of impossible odds. It wasn't technology that had won the day. It was humanity itself. Zara felt a deep respect for these people. For the first time, she understood the true meaning of strength. It wasn't in the weapons or the machines. It was in the heart, the soul, and the spirit of the people who had stood up against the darkness and fought until the end. Visual closure. As Zara took one last look at Earth's skies, now filled with the light of victory, she made a decision. She reached for her communicator and sent a message back to her homeworld. The message was simple, but it carried the weight of everything she had just witnessed. Humanity is stronger than we ever imagined. It is time for us to reconsider our stance. They are not to be underestimated. The story ends with the image of Earth's skies glowing with triumph, and Zara standing beside Liam, finally understanding the true power of humanity. The battle was over, but Zara's journey had only just begun. After the victory on Earth, she returned to her homeworld, the alien civilization that had once seen humanity as weak and inferior. But now everything had changed. Zara's message to her world. Zara stood before the leaders of her civilization, the highest council of the alien race. The grand hall was filled with powerful beings, all known for their wisdom and strength, their technology unmatched by anything in the galaxy. Zara, once a proud defender of her people's superiority, felt a deep weight in her heart as she spoke. While our technology is advanced beyond belief, Zara began, her voice steady but filled with conviction, I have learned that true strength does not lie in machines or weapons. It lies in the hearts of those who fight, in the spirit that drives them. Humanity has shown me that it is their will, their courage, and their sacrifice that make them strong, not their technology. She paused, looking around at the council members, who were silent, unsure of what to make of her words. They are not to be conquered, Zara continued, but to be respected. Humanity fought not to dominate, but to protect. We should approach them not as enemies to subdue, but as equals. They have earned that right. Her message was clear. For the first time, Zara spoke against her people. She didn't want her civilization to see humanity as weak anymore. She wanted them to understand that strength isn't only measured by weapons or technology, it's the heart that wins wars, the will to stand up and fight for what matters. Good versus evil conclusion. The council, though reluctant at first, could see the truth in Zara's words. The galaxy was changing, and it wasn't about who had the bigger fleet or more powerful weapons. It was about who had the spirit to fight for something worth protecting. The good, represented by the bravery of humanity, had defeated the evil of arrogance and conquest. The story ends with Zara looking out at the stars, her message to her people having been delivered. The shift was clear. Technology alone could not define who was superior. True power came from the heart, from fighting for love, for unity, and for freedom. Zara, now fully aware of humanity's strength, smiled, knowing that the galaxy would never be the same. The final lines, humanity didn't just defeat the invaders, they changed the galaxy forever.